Judges chapter 1. Now after the death of Joshua, it came to pass that the children of Israel asked the Lord, saying, Who shall go up for us against the Canaanites first, to fight against them? And the Lord said, Judah shall go up. Behold, I have delivered the land into his hand. And Judah said to Simeon his brother, Come up with me into my territory, that we may fight against the Canaanites, and I likewise will go with you into your territory. So Simeon went with him, and Judah went up, and the Lord delivered the Canaanites and the Perizzites into their hand. And they slew of them in Bezek 10,000 men. And they found Adonibezek in Bezek, and they fought against him, and they slew the Canaanites and the Perizzites. But Adonibezek fled, and they pursued after him and caught him and cut off his thumbs and his big toes. And Adonibezek said, 70 kings, having their thumbs and their big toes cut off, gathered their scraps under my table, as I have done, so God has repaid me. And they brought him to Jerusalem, and there he died. Now the children of Judah had fought against Jerusalem, and had taken it, and smitten it with the edge of the sword, and set the city on fire. And afterward the children of Judah went down to fight against the Canaanites that dwelled in the mountain, and in the south, and in the valley. And Judah advanced against the Canaanites that dwelled in Hebron. Now the name of Hebron before was Kirjath-arba. And they slew Sheshai, and Ahiman, and Talmai. And from there he advanced against the inhabitants of Debir. And the name of Debir before was Kirjath-sepher. And Caleb said, He that smites Kirjath-sepher and takes it, to him will I give Asash, my daughter, as a wife. And Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, took it, and he gave him Asha as his daughter as a wife. And it came to pass, when she came to him, that she moved him to ask of her father a field, and she lighted from off the donkey. And Caleb said to her, What will you? And she said to him, Give me a blessing, for you have given me a south land. Give me also springs of water. And Caleb gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. And the children of Kenite, Moses' father-in-law, went up out of the city of palm trees with the children of Judah into the wilderness of Judah, which lies in the south of Arad. And they went and dwelled among the people, and Judah went with Simeon his brother, and they slew the Canaanites that inhabited Zapha, and utterly destroyed it. And the name of the city was called Hormah. Also Judah took Gaza with the coast thereof, and Askelon with the coast thereof, and Ekron with the coast thereof. And the Lord was with Judah, and he drove out the inhabitants of the mountain, but could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley, because they had chariots of iron. And they gave Hebron to Caleb, as Moses said, and he drove from it the 3 sons of Anak. And the children of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites that inhabited Jerusalem, but the Jebusites dwell with the children of Benjamin in Jerusalem to this day. And the house of Joseph, they also went up against Bethel, and the Lord was with them. And the house of Joseph sent to spy out Bethel. Now the name of the city before was Luz. And the spies saw a man come forth out of the city, and they said to him, Show us, we pray you, the entrance into the city, and we will show you mercy. And when he showed them the entrance into the city, they smote the city with the edge of the sword, but they let go the man and all his family. And the man went into the land of the Hittites, and built a city, and called the name thereof Luz, which is the name thereof to this day. Neither did Manasseh drive out the inhabitants of Bethshean and her towns, nor Tanakh and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Ibleam and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns. But the Canaanites would dwell in that land, and it came to pass when Israel was strong that they put the Canaanites to forced labor and did not utterly drive them out. Neither did Ephraim drive out the Canaanites that dwelled in Gezer. But the Canaanites dwelled in Gezer among them, neither did Zebulun drive out the inhabitants of Kitron, nor the inhabitants of Nahalah. But the Canaanites dwelled among them and became forced laborers. Neither did Asher drive out the inhabitants of Akko, nor the inhabitants of Zidon, nor of Ahlab, nor of Ashib, nor of Helbah, nor of Aphkah, nor of Rehob. But the Asherites dwelled among the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land, for they did not drive them out. Neither did Naphtali drive out the inhabitants of Bethshemesh, nor the inhabitants of Bethana. But he dwelled among the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land. Nevertheless, the inhabitants of Bethshemesh and of Bethneth became forced laborers to them. And the Amorites forced the children of Dan into the mountain, for they would not permit them to come down to the valley. But the Amorites would dwell in the Mount Heres in Ajalon and in Shelbim. Yet the land of the house of Joseph prevailed, so they became forced laborers. And the coast of the Amorites was from the going up to Akrabim, from the rock and upward.